lovelies, welcome or welcome back. It's KK here. In today's video, I'm gonna share my September 2024 bullet journal setup with you all. This month, I'm gonna do a space and galaxy theme, and this month's setup involves a little bit more drawings than my usual ones. It's gonna take a little bit longer, so let me grab my coffee and light a candle so I can fully dive into this creative process. And guess what? I've got matching press-on nails for this theme. They are a gorgeous purplish kite-eye style with tiny stars, perfectly capturing that cosmic vibe. I'm hoping that I can find matching press-ons for my bullet journal every month from now on. How amazing would that be? The color palette for this month is all about purples and blues. So to set the tone, I'm using these soft pastels. I've got this adorable set of 48 colors and they are just so beautiful. They are like chalks but a lot softer, more like a compressed powder, and well, you can use them individually like chalk or crayons, but what we used to do was just rub the colors into a soft tissue and smear them on the paper for a soft and evenly spread background. So I'm gonna use the same method today. We used to use this in uni for quick landscape sketches, blues and purples for skies and water, orange and red for the sunset tones, and greens for lawns or trees. And that was about it for us. There's definitely lots of other ways of using these soft pastels. I'll definitely explore more other ways of using these beautiful pastels later on. You need to rub it a bit hard to get the pastel to transfer onto the paper. After a few rubs, you can start smearing the color on the journal. If the color isn't intense enough, you can add more layers or blend in other colors. Soft pastels are somewhat similar to colored pencils, but without the strokes, and it's easier to cover larger areas as well. And also, if you make a mistake, you can pretty much rub it off with an eraser. And if you prefer, you can even use your fingers. I haven't used this in years, so it's taken me a little while to get back into the groove. I'm just smearing a few light circles to vaguely form the planet shapes. The colors don't show up as well on camera, but in real life, there's a beautiful sheer of blue and purple already. I'm keeping it light for now since I'll be drawing the monthly calendar on top. If it's not dark enough later, I can always add more layers. So I'm drawing rounded corner squares for the calendar, and I'm breaking the lines a little bit by adding dots in between so it's not too solid. It kind of reminds me of shooting stars as well, with little dots trailing behind, which fits the theme perfectly. I'm giving each day plenty of space so I have more room to doodle. Each square will hold a doodle that captures the highlight of the day, making this more of a daily journal rather than just a planner. I usually stick to black pen for my doodles, but this month I might add some colors to match the theme. I then add the blobs for the days of the week. I use a darker shade of purple for the squares. Not sure if you can tell from the camera, but it's dark purple, not black. And now for the blobs, I use a lighter shade of purple. Now on to the title of the month. I'm not great at lettering, so I'm faking it here. I just use my 1mm pen to draw the single lines here and then put a double line where the strokes need to be thicker and then fill it up. Oh, this could be another goal for me in 2025. To get better at calligraphy. This month, I'm going with a more traditional monthly cover. Usually I split the title of the month on one page and have a doodle a day section on the other, but this time I'm drawing a more standard calendar and incorporating my doodle a day within the calendar itself. The title for September will then stretch across both pages. Anyway, back to the fun part, drawing. I'm sketching a few planets on the side, starting with some gentle pencil sketches to keep everything within the circle. Next, I use a darker pen to create the texture of the planets. drawing from outside in with a slight curve to give them a spherical look. Once the dark lines are in place, I fill in the gaps with a lighter color to refine the shape. The darker lines are more random and I tidy them up with the lightest shade. I leave a small gap for the planet's ring, which I draw with an even darker pen, nearly black, then fill in the gaps with a lighter blue again, and voila! A blue planet is done, and I'll use the same method to create a purple one. I'm not filling all the gaps completely, which leaves some natural gaps as highlights and saves me from having to add extra white lines later on. These markers aren't super blendable, but if you work quickly before the ink dries, they blend a little bit, giving a more natural look. I draw the pencil marks very lightly so that the markers can easily cover the sketches, and I won't need to rub them off later on, because if I do, I would also rub off the soft pastel background, which I don't want to happen. After the bigger planets are finished, I'll add some smaller ones, plus a few stars, moons, and little dots to fill in the gaps and complete the page. Speaking of 2025, have you started thinking about your 2025 journals? I've seen quite a lot of brands releasing their new 2025 dated journals, and it's making me feel a little bit panicked. Even though my bullet journal and planner are both undated and I like writing the dates in myself, seeing everyone rush to order or pre-order makes me realize how quickly 2025 is approaching and how much I still haven't done this year. But it's a good kind of panic, pushing me to do more this year and start planning for the year ahead. And I can start to accumulate all the ideas, so when it's time to set up my journal, I can put in all I want. So here we go, September. I'm sure Christmas decorations will be hitting all the shops soon as well. Now I feel like it's just enough and our monthly cover page is pretty much done. I'll just add the days of the week and the dates. I also ended up adding more pastel after setting up all the weekly pages, so you'll see the final result at the end of this video. This month's setup has more drawings and colors compared to my usual spread, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's given me the confidence to consider doing more drawings in my future bullet journal pages. And now let's move on to week 1. For my weekly spread, I'm sticking to my usual layout of 8 blocks. 4 blocks each page with 7 blocks for the days of the week and 1 block for my week in review. Just like the monthly cover, I'll start by setting the background colors, then draw the blocks to define the writing areas and finally add the decorations around them. I love the smearing process, it's so satisfying and relaxing, and you can be as random as you like with it. The good thing about soft pastel is that you can draw or write on top of them, and you can also layer the pastel over your writings or drawings without smearing your work. The markers I'm using are Crayola Super Tips. This set is the 100 color pack, which gives me a great variety of blues and purples to work with. If you're interested, I'll put the link in the description box below. They are super affordable and easy to find. They also come in 20 color and 50 color packs, and you can pretty much see them in every stationery store. Although the 100 color pack might be a bit trickier to find, so if you have trouble finding them, you can always use the link in my description. As you may have noticed, the marker has a unique tip. It's pointy at the top, but the side is cut at an angle, about 45 degrees, so if you tilt it slightly, you can draw thicker lines like you would with a regular marker. It's like a 2-in-1 marker, and it did take me a few minutes to get used to it, but once you've got the hang of it, they are really easy to use. moving on to week 2. I decided to make the background color a little bit darker this time, and I ended up adding more colors to both the monthly cover and the first week spread. It just looks so much better with the deeper tones. Also, I did realize though that as the color gets darker, this can be a little bit messy. I have to put a soft tissue under my left hand to avoid smudging the areas I want to leave blank. After smearing the colors, I have to wash my hands before moving on to the drawing part. But that's okay, I'm really enjoying the fun new experience. Once I'm happy with the colors, I start marking the writing areas for each day. I'm using dots of different sizes and colors to create the title lines, where I'll later write the dates and days of the week. Next, I draw the planets and stars at the top and bottom of the pages. Again, I start with the bigger planets using the same method as before to create the blue and purple ones. Then I add smaller planets with simpler color combos. Finally, I add a few stars, shooting stars and moons to finish decorating the page. For week 3, I draw star or moon symbols to mark the areas where I write the days, and then I add planets and other decorations to either side of the pages. Just like in the previous weeks, I include a mix of big and small planets and a few stars. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I like to make different weekly layouts within the same theme. I think it's more fun and it keeps things feeling fresh when I write each week. How about you guys? Do you use the same layout every week or do you change it up? I'm avoiding adding too many little dots on the side since I'm already using them as borders for each day. The dots running through the middle of the page already gave that galaxy feel, so I don't think they're needed on the sides again. This way the page won't look too cluttered. So after writing the dates in week 3 is complete, what do you guys think? I'm in love with how it turned out. For week 4, I'm gonna put the drawing in the 4 corners of the spread. As usual, I start by smearing the colors, though the tissue doesn't look so pretty afterwards. I didn't see many reviews on these markers before buying them. I just took a chance since they are water-based, and thankfully they didn't bleed through the paper, even after going over the same spot multiple times. My journal has 100 GSM paper, so that's pretty solid. I'm happy with both my journal and these new markers. By the time I got to week 4, I felt much more confident drawing the planets. I even added a third color to some of them, which actually turned out even better. I used to draw mostly patterns rather than objects in my bullet journal because I wasn't sure about my drawing skills and didn't think I would do it very well. But after this month's setup, I've gained a little bit of confidence, and I also plan to do bullet journal setups that involves more drawings in the future, which means I can put more fun themes in my journal. So if you have any ideas or theme suggestions, please drop them in the comments. I'm always on the lookout for new inspiration. This setup did take longer than usual. The original video was over 4 hours long, so imagine how much I had to edit. But I really love how it turned out, and I think the result was totally worth it. Week 4 is done. I went back and added some colors to my monthly cover and first weekly page. I realized that more color makes everything look so much better, and it ties in nicely with other weekly pages as well. And there we have it. My September bullet journal setup is complete. Let's do a quick flip through. I'm really loving this purple and blue space and galaxy theme. I hope you enjoyed the video and found some inspiration. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. So that's all for my September 2024 bullet journal setup. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. Have a wonderful day and happy journaling, everyone. Bye!